Hey, welcome to listing class. Hi, I'm Jeff Seamock with eXp, and today we're going to talk about the mechanics to doing a listing appointment. Okay, so to get a listing appointment is actually very difficult in the real estate business. Typically, if you're a new agent, the only way you can get a listing is if you know somebody and you're willing to cut them a deal, meaning give them a reduced commission. That's the typical way that people win first. Or if they have a good friend and the house isn't too high a price, maybe they can get the listing at 3% in today's market. I mean, anything's possible in the world of real estate. The thing about listing houses is that the difficulty comes because they need you to have an established reputation of selling houses for you to win. So how do you get an established reputation of selling houses to win? Is through experience. So it's kind of a little bit of the chicken and the egg. So, but either way, this is the listing appointment that we're going to review today is going to be the standard listing appointment procedure, no matter whether it's a referral or not. And that is that in our system, we like to do a CMA first, which is a information packet that's given to the seller, left on their doorstep prior to arrival. One thing is I do not recommend giving people list prices for houses without having been inside the house recently. Most recently, no matter what your opinion is, it's just that you want to use that time to be able to go through all of the process steps. Because in my idea of what I call a listing appointment is to present the house in the best possible use so that it sells. And today, I think we're going to talk about the different aspects of it, but also we're going to talk about the biggest aspect, which is pricing the house and how we, because the thing is when people are selling their house, I don't know why this is, but this is just human nature, is that for some reason, when someone buys something, they feel that now it's worth more. And that's what we have with houses, is that just because they bought it, they feel that it's worth more. No, that just means that they like their own house a lot, but we expect that because they picked it themselves, meaning they had a bunch of houses to choose from and they picked this one. Of course, they're going to like it more and therefore think it's worth more. So today we're going to talk about how we address that fact with the seller and win. One of the points I want to talk about today is that clearly we are, last night I pulled the stats for the Seamock team for listings over the last year, and we only sold 74% of listings. Now, to me, that is a very low number. That means that we're listing houses too high and we're not able to get the price down. So we will talk about that a little bit today as well. So, but let's just start about procedural. So you make an appointment for the listing. Hopefully you take a computer. Right? I mean, ideally that you take a iPad or any type of laptop computer in, because that's what I want you to be showing the comps on. Meaning, because the idea is to demonstrate that we're going to be using technology to sell their house. Therefore, you should demonstrate technology in the listing appointment. And obviously, if you're not talking about technology during the appointment, then how are they going to know that you're good on the web? Because that's what it's going to take to sell the house. So let's just talk about step one. So make the appointment, be on time, professional dress. I don't think in Arizona you always have to wear pants, but make sure that, if it's over $1 million, maybe you want to wear a suit or jacket. You want to dress like you're going to church. You want to be clean, you want to be on time every time. And in our case, once the CMA is dropped off, we prefer that you record the listing appointment so that you can hear yourself talk. So you can learn, do I say what I think I said when I had the opportunity to speak? Because even as I record this today, I realize that I don't always complete sentences. And for video, I like to try and complete sentences. So upon arrival at the house, usually I like to do the sit first. What is the sit? The sit is just basically for a chance for you to ask questions. What are the questions about? It's about, to me, your chance to demonstrate to them the experience that we have in selling houses. Now that we sold a couple thousand houses, there's a lot of experience. And what it is talking about what is their experience going to be like. So what I like those questions to be about is more of what have they experienced the last time they sold. So what is their experience in selling houses? And then essentially, what is their expectations? And this is really where we've been hanging out, especially for homes under $1 million, because homes have been selling really quickly. But obviously now that they're slowing down, I think that we need to review our pricing strategies a little bit more and our follow-up. So now ask yourself, if you're sold the house 7 years ago, what are you going to remember about the house selling process? Not too much. And that's usually what I hear from people. They usually just explain to me, and what I want to know is their experience going to give them an expectation, right? So you ask them, well, it sold pretty quickly. Usually people say that their house sold pretty quickly. But you know, a lot of times when I look up that house, it took 112 days or 170 days. And it's more just that they don't remember it taking that long. So but the reality is you want to walk them through just the process of now, because I don't know if they are familiar with the sign being put up in the yard, the coming soon process, right, which is the process before it actually goes active, what that is like, and to start to get the word out, and but also that those days on market don't count against you, is the key part to talk about there. And in our case, where we clearly have been lacking because of I'm just taking the basis of, if you're not selling 85 to 90% of your listings, then clearly I think it's more of a pricing issue. And that is what has to be established in a listing appointment. And to me, what is their selling house? You want to talk about the advancements in technology that have occurred between when they sold the house last and today. Meaning, if they sold it in 2010, I don't know, you know, Zillow wasn't big then. So, you know, the longer, you know, there's several issues with them not having sold a house in a long time. But the key point is just their familiarity of how technology exists and how people can learn so much from the internet, and that's where most of their traffic is going to be seen. Raul?
Yes.
Are you meeting with Philly?
Yes. All right. Good to see you. Good to see you too. I mean, I said night.
I still think they knew you're here yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay, should be here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay, great. I'm just wrapping up some work. Yeah, perfect. You got, it looks like you're good on appearance. You want?
Love your phone.
It's-
Great.
All right,
We pause on here?
I turned it off here.
Are you, you're saying that listings, we only sell like 78% of them?
74%
Is that-
in the last 12 months?
Is that because there's a bunch of active pendings that just haven't closed yet?
No, it's more because there's lots of cancels.
Ours? For the whole-
I don't know for everybody,
The
yeah,
whole sit
the whole group, yeah,
team.
yeah, the team. Yeah. So back to the sit, so to me, the biggest thing that we're trying to figure out during the sit is. Are they going to be in a contingent situation and how does that affect? Meaning, are they gonna be trying to buy a house? And do they need the money out of this house to buy that house? So kind of walking them through but also knowing then. If it's contingent, then it's gonna have to be priced to sell pretty quickly. So to talk to them about that, to make sure that if they're trying to move out of one and straight into another. But this is your chance to talk about the coming soon and talk about how you're going to provide them stats and that one of the biggest things that Adam talks about is that setting their expectations about that, because we don't determine what the price of the house is, and that is hard for people to understand. But the reality is because every house is only sold one time. We don't know if there's a variance or not in what houses sell at. So it does put a little question about knowing what you sell for, but I think that my goal for the CBOC agents and making us great agents is for us to be able to actually know what the house is going to be priced at. And that's why today we're going to look at a comp that didn't sell and talk about the functional obsolescence items that kept it from selling at the list price. Questions? Okay.
You're going to MLS?
Eventually, right? I just want to go through the listing. All right. So this is more just get comfortable, ask them if they sold in another state, ask them if they used a team before, because if you're working with the CBOC team, that there's going to be a stager that's going to go out, because that's your greatest opportunity to then introduce the stager. And I don't know that many people are talking about what the stager does, and that the stager helps them get from where they're at today to listing the house. Now, a lot of people like to prepare the house themselves. I don't understand that, and that means that you have to do some explanation. You have to educate your seller that we sell a lot of houses, therefore we know the best things. Yes, the internet has things, but their interpretation of those things and in the market prices, it's really best to hear it from us, and that our stager will walk them through how to prepare their house to sell. And then also get any contractors out, or if they need us to hire a house cleaner for them or a window cleaner for them, we will do that at no cost, but of course they're responsible for the fee for that. Now, during this appointment, there's also a chance for you to talk about some, to me, the things that sellers want to hear about are the, have you been in the neighbors' houses? Have you been in those listings? That's why it's a good thing if you're going to be going to a listing appointment that you go see all the active houses, so you can at least talk about what the competition is, even though technically I don't know that any house compares to another house other than it has the same amount of bedrooms and bathrooms. It's not like people only pick one subdivision to buy a house, so therefore the houses in that subdivision may be different sizes and won't necessarily be their competition. Because when people look, they usually look in a 3 to 5 mile radius for houses. But this is your chance to just talk them through all of these details. So the key part is to talk to them about, okay, when we list a house, if we're gonna do open houses, are they open to open houses? And if they're not open to open houses, the stat that we use is the CBOC team. We tracked it over a 10-year period of time and we found 61% of the buyers through the internet, through our marketing, through Zillow, through our marketing, through MLS, through our marketing for the CBOC team, because we do more marketing. We do $1.1 million worth of marketing each year to try and sell our houses. But it still only matters if the house is priced well, meaning that no one can ever sell a house for over what it's worth. Essentially what it sells for is what it's worth. So, because it describes the demand of the buy and the sell. Okay, so then, before you're gonna give price, you wanna talk to them that you're gonna sit back down where you're sitting now, but you're gonna do a walk through the house. The key here is I follow the Russell Shaw method, and that is making sure that you see every room in the house, every closet, every step, inside, outside, walk completely around the house to make sure that they know that you saw every nook and cranny. But then you're going to be presenting price, and you have to be able to take notes during that time frame to understand. You know, you have to have done your review beforehand to know how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, because when you're in the house, it can get confusing. Tracking how many bedrooms and bathrooms and then looking at comps. It's why you do all your pre-work. But this is a great opportunity for you to impress the client about what you know about the house, meaning what kind of carpet they have, what kind of luxury vinyl tile, if they have backsplashes, they have upgrades in stainless steel appliances, but also a chance to talk to them about what buyers are looking for and what their house has, meaning if they have a 2-car garage or a 3-car garage, how to softly state that. Remember, because this is their baby, and if you're poking holes in their baby, because the goal is for you to get them to like you, because people list with people they like. So you got to be presenting it softly and let the market tell them, not you tell them, because you're not the buyer of their house, right? Like with the market, because we don't control the market, meaning through MLS, we are talking to most of the marketplace, but at any time, any buyer can come in and offer any price for the house as long as they have the amount of cash to buy the house. So, but we'll do a walk through the house. You go through every room, and then you're recording this on the Evernote. And then when you get at the end, I usually like to sit between the people if I can, and looking at the comps, so that they both can understand price. And then the best pitch, because recently on the Evernote, I'm seeing people come in with one price, and that is probably why we are not getting the price reductions, because the goal on the Evernote is to put all 3 prices so that the seller sees those prices, because you're going to send it to them after the listing appointment. We type up those notes. But then when you look back, if you didn't put 3 prices in there, we can't say we told you, right?
What are the 3 prices?
The 3 prices that we recommend are non-competitive, which is the highest price of any house sold plus whatever, depending on the marketplace, meaning if you're in a high demand marketplace and the last one sold for 50,000 more, that number needs to be a lot higher. And then your passive price and your aggressive price. And the aggressive price should be the lowest price that you would ever have to list it in today's market for it to sell immediately. So usually even in today's marketplace, I like that to be even 5% below what you think it's going to be, and put the high, make the spread more, so that the goal is to show the neighborhood range and the possibilities of what it's selling in that appointment. So so then when you sit down, you review the comps, and then you talk to them about the traffic. And that's the key, is meaning if we list it higher, there'll be less traffic. So then during the coming soon, when we list it and we see the views, or if we do an open house, how many people come through it, or amount of showings, that we know the thing that we have to establish there is if the traffic is low, that means we're listed too high. If the traffic is low, we're listed too high. If the traffic is low, we're listed too high. Meaning that, you know, if our houses are priced right, we sell the houses right away. We talk about this in the team meeting a lot, that the market's super active, but price does matter. So at this time, I kind of want to have you pull up an address of a house. It's 8625 East Dahlia.
What up, Emma?
Sure. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull comps in the neighborhood. It's actually my neighbor's house. So they listed it above market value. And it did not sell. And it's why we're seeing. But it didn't sell, not because the house isn't nice. The house is gorgeous and it was listed by, I don't know, Retsy or Russ Lyon Sotheby's. And their special sauce didn't sell the house. But it's more importantly about understanding. I think it's about understanding functional obsolescence and then the upgrades in the house. Let's go just pull 85260 and then we'll just pull we'll do a square.
Quick search?
Yeah. All right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at. This is an example for pricing. So I'm gonna pull. Okay, let's see, is that? That's Choya, that means I'm too far south, okay. I'm gonna edit that. How come that? How come it won't give me the hand? There you go. All right. Oh, it's still listed. There you go. Right. 870, as you can see, 18, so the highest sale in this neighborhood. So the question is, because this is right on the edge. Where, so that's a 35,000 square foot lot, so what we're gonna do is, because this house. Is under 20,000 square foot lot, so that changes the comps. But you can see here. Highest sale was 1770 for 3263. It was actually the neighbor's house. To 18625, and in a tough market because they feel their house is better. Now that one was a 5-bedroom 3-bath, and this one was a 4-bedroom 3-bath. So we're gonna take a look at that house. So it's got a huge porcelain tile, it's got a waterfall fireplace, it's nice, but it has a small family room. They have the same situation in this house. But this house closes. As you can see, it was listed for 100 days. It started at 2 million and then they lowered it at 1825 and they got 1770. But there's no real, no functional obsolescence other than that the family room does not over. It's not a great room. It's a separate family room and kitchen area. So, and so this is the target house. I thought they took it off the market, but custom cabinets, super nice, gorgeous house. But it's tile on the floor, and then so you have a huge wasted room in the center of the house. But absolutely spectacular house inside now. But spectacular does not get them 100,000 more. So just fact of the matter. So just trying to show you that if we list houses above the value, they just don't sell no matter who it is. No matter how much traffic, and there's been very little traffic in the house. And I think that they're gonna have to lower it by, you know, $100,000 to get it to sell, but only time will tell. So. So the key to wrap it up in the price is pricing the house. The idea of the passive price is because the passive price is meant to be 3 to 5% above what you think it will sell for, to tell them we don't want to leave any money on the table. But to establish that we must be inside 3% of the value to receive an offer, right? And that traffic starts to slow if we're outside of 3% of the value of the house. And that's why we have that chart that we use, the funnel graph that says that people look, because buyers start out by looking, meaning that if you're looking to spend 1.8, you start looking at 1.5, then you look at 1.6, then you look at 1.7. You don't start looking at the houses above your price range and expect them to come down, because that's just not the way it works in this marketplace. So thank you. And that's really what I wanted to cover today, is just the setup of reviewing the comps, walking the house, getting the Evernote out, and most importantly, talking about the traffic. Maybe we'll end up with that. So what kind of traffic are we going to expect? We are going to expect agents calling about the house if it's during coming soon, if it's priced well. We're going to expect buyers, sign calls. We're going to expect saves on Zillow. We're going to expect buyers reaching out, asking about HOA docs or spuds or just that kind of activity, or most importantly, request to see the house. If we don't get a request during coming soon, you should be having a price discussion that we may be listed too high. So hopefully that helped you. Yes, Adam.
And something else I've been hearing a lot from sellers is not only is the coming soon phase a good time to test to see if we're priced too high, but it's also a chance for us to see if we're priced too low. Because a lot of times they're worried that we're underpricing it. And I just assure them that in the coming soon phase, if we're not getting any showings, we're not getting any calls, that tells us we're overpriced. But on the flip side, if we're getting bombarded with calls, so many people reaching out to us, that tells us maybe we need to raise price.
Right. Fortunately, the supply is so low, and that's what you're going to tell them, that we don't have to worry about listing it too low, because if we list it too low, we will become overcome with buyers and offers, and you will know, and then we could actually list it higher. We don't have to list it that high. So that's a great point, Adam. So thank you for pointing that out. The fact that if we list it too low, we will have too many offers. What's too many offers? I don't know, 60, 80, 100. I don't know what too many offers is, because at some point there's a price that is the maximum price of the house. So hi, I'm Jeff. Thank you so much for your time.